Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Monkey Wrench. I'm Kelly, the monkey with the blue sky and the wrench. Sometimes we do videos that are a little bit different. You know, I like to kind of do videos about the things that I do around my home and for other people. Last week or so, we had Hurricane Idalia barrel up through the Gulf of Mexico. At one point in the track where I live, we were supposed to take a pretty much direct eye wall hit. Remember, these storms are 400 miles wide, in the state of Florida, other than the Panhandle area, is only about 220 miles wide. So it's not just dangerous for the eye wall, it's dangerous for the whole storm. Whenever one comes through the Gulf of Mexico, if you look at the face of a clock, you have 12 o'clock at the top, 6 o'clock. I don't know which way it's going to show on camera, but then you have 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And if you're in that quadrant between 12 and 3, which we are when it comes up through the Gulf of Mexico, you also have tornadoes to watch for. You have terrible storm surge. So whenever a hurricane is coming in our direction through the Gulf of Mexico, I always worry about myself, the people I care about, and of course the people that get impacted the worst. So thoughts and prayers always out to the people in the Panhandle, the Big Bend area that got hit by Hurricane Idalia. We also have Hurricane Lee that's out in the Atlantic right now. It's a Category 5, which is unheard of. 5 is the top, and they're even talking about making a Category 6, like inventing a Category 6 for a stronger storm. So what I have is preparing for high wind. And for those of you that don't know, even though this is larger than my van, it actually weighs about a third of what the van weighs. That van weighs about 7,500 pounds, and this thing weighs about 2,500 pounds. And I always worry about high winds when it comes to something with a very large area and a very lightweight situation. So what I wanted to do was strap this thing down. Now in Florida, we have laws. We have laws about how we make our roofs, how we put our roofs on. We have laws about all new buildings in flood areas having to be on pillars. Well, whenever you want to put up a new shop or a shed or anything like that, this one happens to be 37 years old, you have to follow hurricane guidelines here in Florida. So I decided that I was going to go ahead and strap down my trailer. Now clearly I don't want to do it over here because I have all of these big trees here, and in high winds, if these trees come down, they're going to crush Cat. That's my cargo action trailer, Cat. And over here I have no trees, so I moved it over there in that corner, and I spent, well, let me show you what I did first. These are called Hurricane strap spikes, okay? These are 36 inches long. They are thicker than my finger. I believe they're 3/8 thick solid steel bar, and they have a corkscrew on the bottom. So you twist them into the ground like a screw, and they pull themselves deeper and deeper and deeper. And then they have this large area that stays under the ground that's wider than my hand. That way when things pull up on it, it has something to grab and the spike doesn't come out of the ground. So this one's over 3 feet long, and I bought a couple of these, and I said, all right, let me move this thing over here and let me put these in the ground. The ground here is very dry. We haven't had much rain this year. You can see the trailer was there because you can see, and it was only there for 3 days, and it killed the grass that quick. But I wanted to get one in the ground. I wanted to get 2 in the ground, actually. And that's it right there. That's the first one, if I can get it into frame. And that right there took me 4 hours to get into the ground. The reason is, let's see if I can show you, there's another one over there. The reason is because the ground is like going through concrete. And I've never done this before. And instead of stopping and looking on YouTube, I decided, hey, I'll just twist them into the ground. It won't be a big deal. So I started it, boom, and you have to kind of push down on it and start to turn it. And it started pulling itself into the ground, and it made it about 10 inches. And then it got rock solid. So on that one, I actually used this one as leverage, like so. And I could get that thing to turn about 1/8 of a turn, and that was it. So on the first one, I practically killed myself for 4 hours. I had to take a break every 2 or 3 minutes. And what I did was I tried to just force this thing into the ground with all my strength. Because it was a day before the hurricane was coming, and I wanted to get 2 of these in to strap the trailer down. Hey, Peanut, watch out, buddy. Go on. So after I only got 1 down before the hurricane, I strapped it with chain to the bottom of the trailer. Thankfully, we had a miss, and I spent some time thinking about it, and I said, all right, I need to get the second one in so that I have both sides of the trailer so it can't go in either direction without doing some serious damage. You know, that you can't help. So I was out here yesterday, the day before, and what I did was the same thing. I got it in, probably about 6 or 8 inches. And I hit solid sand, and I couldn't get it to go any further. So I thought, okay, what if I take the garden hose? Maybe the ground is just dry. So I took the garden hose and I just left it on a trickle, and I left it there for like 4 hours just to get the ground wet. And it didn't make a fucking difference. I was still coming out here maybe once an hour, and I was trying to strong arm this thing and get it to move. Now, I'm a pretty strong guy, and I could only get about 1/8 of a turn. So I said, okay, this isn't working. There's got to be a better way. So what I started doing was hitting it 4 or 5 times, and I found that then I could get it to move a little bit. And I could get it to move a little bit. And I could get a full rotation on about 10 times with that. And then by sheer luck, I was tired, I was out of breath. By sheer luck, my lazy ass thought, okay, I can save myself a step. Instead of doing this and then taking this and doing this and then taking this and doing this, I said, all right, this time I'm just gonna leave this damn thing in. I'm gonna leave a little bit of pressure on it, and then I'm gonna hit it 4 or 5 times, and then at least I'm not taking the bar out and putting it back in. That's how my mind works. And this is what I found. Watch this. It's actually harder. It takes more strength to lift the hammer up to hit it than the amount of pressure that I have on this side. And look at how fast that works. I could probably do it with 1 finger. I am not putting any physical body strength into this. All it takes is the vibration to loosen the sand or the dirt while it's turning. I thought I was going to have a heart attack because when I spoke to my friend, I said, think about pushing a car uphill for 4 hours. How tiring that was. I was so exhausted after getting the first one in. There was nothing left. There was no strength left in my body. Then I got that one halfway in, before I accidentally lazily said, screw it, I'll just hold this and hit it, and it moved, and I went, wow. Now, I still haven't looked on the internet. I still don't know if there's any videos on this on YouTube. I'm out of breath, not for what I was doing, hitting it with the hammer, but for what I was trying to do with it beforehand to show you. Because it really, I couldn't get it to move with all my strength. In fact, I don't know if you'd be able to see it, but that 3/8 inch steel, I was pulling on it so much that I twisted it and warped it like a strong man from a 1920s cartoon. So, putting them in this way takes zero, and I would say zero strength, but maybe a tiny bit of strength. I even had my elderly neighbor come out here, and of course she couldn't make it turn at all. And then I said, now just put a tiny bit of pressure on it while I hit it, and she couldn't believe that it was turning. So if you need to put these in the ground, that's the trick. Hit it while having a little bit of pressure on it, and it'll go right in the ground. Now I'm so glad that I figured this out, because I have to build a new shop, and as per hurricane guidelines here in Florida, it has to be hurricane strapped. So I have to do 6 or 8 more of these for the new shop. And now I'm not dreading it, thinking it's going to take me a week of hell to get it in, because now I know how to get it to go. Now I'm putting these in low enough that I can still ride around on my 0 turn and cut the grass. You may not have to go so low. But I want them low enough that I can cut the grass. So I hope this video helps somebody. I hope that if you're having the same kind of problem that I was having, and you thought to yourself, maybe I'm doing it wrong, or you thought maybe I should dig a hole with a shovel and then put this thing in place and then try and pack the dirt back around it, I can tell you that's not a good idea. You want the dirt to remain packed, because if you dig a hole and you stick this thing in it, you're never going to pack it down as much as gravity and earth and water and time does. So it's going to be weaker. And if a storm comes along, like we have Lee coming, maybe others, if a storm came along this year, it would be weak. Excuse me. By next year, it would be strong. But by this year, it would be weak. So, hope this video helps. If you got some information out of it, hit the like button. It's somewhere between my chin and my balls. If you knew this already and you think I'm an idiot, well, let me know in the comments. And if you have an even better way of doing this, let me know in the comments so I can pass it along. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I can't believe how fast I'm growing. And I'll see you soon.